Why do you get addicted to porn and masturbation? Once you're caught in this habit, why can't you break free, even when you want to? And how does this habit slowly destroy you from the inside like a devil? Every night when the lights go out and your phone screen glows on your face, you think you're just relaxing, passing time, finding some relief. But the reality is that a slow poison is entering your brain at that moment, something called dopamine hijacking. You think you can control this addiction, but the truth is, it's controlling you. Every time you watch porn or masturbate, your brain is learning that happiness means getting rewards without effort. This becomes the first step toward your defeat. Your masculine energy is slowly dying. Your focus is getting destroyed. Your drive, your discipline, your self-respect, everything is falling apart bit by bit. So, he that would be made of anything, and you don't even realize it's happening. You think it's normal, everyone does it. What's the harm? But there is harm, because these very habits decide whether you'll become a powerful man or a weak slave who bows down to every pleasure. Edward Thorndike showed us in 1898 that our habits become shortcuts in our brain. Things we do repeatedly become automatic. So if you're watching porn every day, you're teaching your brain to run from pain and seek pleasure. This is the real slavery of a world that wants you to never find purpose, never become strong, just stay distracted and drowning in dopamine addiction. The question isn't whether you watched porn today or not. The question is, are you in control of your life, or is that screen in your hand controlling you? Because if you don't stop yourself today, tomorrow you'll lose faith in yourself too. Let me tell you about a year that changed our understanding of human habits forever. There was a psychologist named Edward Thorndike who was deeply interested in animal behavior. This interest led him to an experiment that gave birth to the entire science behind how habits form and break. Thorndike started his experiment with cats. Each cat was placed in a puzzle box, a box with a hidden way to escape, sometimes pulling a rope, sometimes pressing a lever, or stepping on a small platform would open the door. Outside the door, a bowl of food waited to satisfy their hunger. When the cats were first put in the box, they would anxiously poke their noses in every corner, scratch with their paws, and claw at everything. They didn't know how to get out. But through trial and error, there came a moment when they accidentally pressed that magical lever. The door opened, and the cat was free. Thorndike didn't stop there. He tracked each cat's behavior repeatedly. At first, every cat acted like shooting arrows in the dark, but once they found the right path, the learning process began. Each time they repeated the action that gave them satisfaction or reward, freedom and food. After 20 to 30 times, the cat's behavior became so automatic and precise that it could escape in just a few seconds. Thorndike gave the example of cat number 12. At first, it took 160 seconds to escape, then 90, then 30, and gradually decreasing to just 6 seconds in the final attempts. This proved one of the most basic laws of human behavior. We repeat behaviors that give us satisfying results, and we run away from those that cause pain. Now the question is, why does the brain create habits in the first place? The answer lies in Thorndike's discovery. When we repeat an action over and over, our brain learns to do it with less energy, faster, and without thinking. This is energy conservation, a survival mechanism. Your every habit, whether good or bad, is connected to some lever, some reward, and it's controlling your subconscious before your conscious mind. So, next time you repeat a habit, whether it's checking your phone repeatedly or eating without hunger, ask yourself, what reward am I getting from this puzzle box? Have you ever wondered why your brain does something repeatedly, whether it's right or wrong? Why do you keep scrolling through reels? Why do you get lost in screen light every night in bed? Why do you crave chocolate or cigarettes when stressed? The answer is dopamine, a small chemical that sits behind every decision you make. What is dopamine? People think dopamine equals happiness, but the truth is much deeper. Dopamine's real job is to make you want something, to create craving, to motivate you to do something again and again. When Thorndike's cat pressed the lever and got food, its brain said, "Do this, this is right." It got a reward, and dopamine reinforced that behavior. The next time, the cat doesn't think. It just goes straight to the lever. You do the same thing. Your brain remembers everything that ever made you feel good. That Instagram reel, that soft drink, that notification sound. Each time, a small reward. Each time, a small dopamine hit. Now think about what happens when you get this hit repeatedly. Your brain says, "I don't want to think anymore, just do what feels good." This is when behavior becomes habit. But the problem starts here. Dopamine doesn't care what you're doing, whether it's good or bad. It only cares whether you got a reward or not. Whether you go for a run and feel fresh, or play video games and get temporary relief. Dopamine will reward both equally. But here's where it gets dangerous. When you masturbate or watch porn, not only does dopamine increase in your brain, but another powerful protein becomes active called delta phos B. This protein sits in your brain's reward center and decides what's beneficial and what's worth repeating. Every time you watch porn and get that dopamine flood, delta phos B also starts accumulating in your brain. Like moss growing on walls, this protein accumulates in your reward circuitry. The more it accumulates, the more it pushes you to repeat that same habit. You think, just one last time today, but your brain says, no, this is necessary, this gives relief, this feels good. This is where habit turns into addiction. Delta phos B is teaching you that instant pleasure is more important than long-term purpose. Now that you understand how masturbation and porn watching traps your brain in dopamine overload, along with delta phos B accumulation, the question is, how do you get out? The answer is NoFap. NoFap isn't magic, it's a scientific process. This process gradually removes your brain from that artificial dopamine overload and breaks down delta phos B accumulation. Like ice melting in sunlight, daily discipline starts breaking down your brain's hard walls. The first week is the hardest. Your brain struggles, your body screams. But remember, this very fight is the foundation of your freedom. Just like Thorndike's cat learned in its first 20 to 30 trials, your brain also starts abandoning its old paths by understanding small rewards each day. Gradually, delta phos B's effect decreases. Natural dopamine balance returns to your reward system. Then you feel peace, focus, and real happiness. And yes, this happiness doesn't come from outside, it comes from your own control. Our brain has neural pathways, like tracks, on which every thought, feeling, and behavior runs as electrical signals. Every time you repeat an action like masturbation or watching porn, a path forms in your brain. Just like walking on the same track in a forest creates a trail, your brain keeps strengthening that pleasure track. As that path becomes stronger, your brain prefers to walk on it because it's easy, familiar, and gives dopamine. When you're tired, lonely, or stressed, your brain automatically goes down that same path toward porn and masturbation. But you can build new neural pathways. When you choose NoFap, you're creating a new trail. At first, that path will be difficult, full of bushes and thorns. But as you choose it daily, that path starts becoming clear and strong. Then comes a day when your brain starts forgetting the old path. The old neural pathway becomes weak. Delta phos B's grip loosens, and your brain rewires itself. This is neuroplasticity. Your brain can change, and you have the power to change it. When you watch porn, your brain's mirror neurons activate. These special neurons fire when we see someone else doing something, as if we're doing it ourselves. When you see someone in pain, your facial muscles also tighten slightly. This happens because of mirror neurons. But when you watch porn, you think, I'm just watching, not doing anything. But your brain doesn't think so. Mirror neurons simulate that experience. Your brain starts feeling like you're doing what's shown on screen, no matter how unreal, aggressive, or abnormal it is. This creates serious damage. Sexual desensitization. Your brain starts seeing real-life touch, relationships, and emotional connections as dull, abnormal fantasies. Whatever you watch becomes your sexual preference. Social anxiety and guilt. The addiction pathways become stronger, leading to guilt, shame, and social disconnect. Unrealistic expectations. You start seeing others as objects rather than people. Porn doesn't just show unrealistic scenarios, it rewires your brain to expect them. What you see on screen is camera angles, makeup, editing, and exaggeration. But your brain takes every visual as standard. Now you start comparing your body to that unreal perfection, creating body shame, self-doubt, and low self-worth. The dopamine system becomes so flooded that real-world experiences seem dull. Studies, work, friendships, nothing has that kick anymore. Your brain develops addiction-like symptoms, compulsive behavior, withdrawal, and uncontrollable urges. The decision-making part of your brain, frontal lobe, becomes weak. Going against desires becomes difficult. After masturbation, fatigue comes, but not deep rest. Over time, this increases hormonal imbalance and anxiety. But there's hope. Recovery is possible through awareness, understanding that your brain absorbs every visual, detox, 30-day dopamine reset through NoFap, changing your visual diet, consuming positive, inspiring, real content, building new habits, exercise, reading, real relationships. You think this is just a habit, a small moment of relief, but the truth is, you've become addicted to a slow poison. This poison is running through the nerves of your brain that once connected you to humans, now connecting you to screens. You've turned love into cheap clips on screens and separated the body from emotions. Your brain no longer recognizes true relationships. It doesn't want real touch. It wants pixels. It doesn't want emotional connection. It wants instant dopamine. When someone wants to give you real love, your brain calls it boring. When someone wants to touch you, your body feels numb. You're no longer fit for relationships. In return, you're alone, lost, burning in screen light, trying to fill that emptiness that once could have been filled by a human being. But now it's too late if you don't change today. You think you're controlling it, but it's controlling you. If you don't look away today, tomorrow your very existence will fade away from yourself. Porn doesn't kill. It slowly steals your reason to live. There's still time to take back your freedom. Otherwise, one day you won't be able to look yourself in the eye. Remember, only those who love themselves can truly live in this world. The choice is yours. Remain a slave to pleasure, or embrace the pain and become a real man.